So there are some disadvantages to crowns, but otherwise they're quite important things.
Did you know Queen Elizabeth II secretly owned treasures worth billions? Hidden jewels, a golden piano, her collection will shock you. For decades, whispers surrounded her most valuable possessions, but the truth is even more incredible than you can imagine. What were these jaw-dropping items, and what secrets do they reveal about the Queen's incredible legacy? Stay tuned as we uncover 20 of the most expensive things she owned. Number 7 is something you absolutely won't believe. 20. The Imperial State Crown. Ever wondered what it feels like to wear a crown worth more than an entire country's budget? Queen Elizabeth II knew. The Imperial State Crown is one of the most famous and valuable royal treasures in the world, estimated to be worth over $4 billion. This isn't just any crown. It's covered in rare gems that date back centuries. Some of the most jaw-dropping features include the Cullinan II diamond, a 317-carat gem cut from the largest diamond ever found. Then there's the Black Prince's ruby, a glowing red gemstone that kings have worn for over 600 years, and the Stuart sapphire, a deep blue gem with a royal history. Each stone tells a story, making this crown more than just jewelry. It's a piece of history. Although it is breathtakingly beautiful, Queen Elizabeth II didn't wear it every day. In fact, the crown was so heavy and uncomfortable that she only wore it on special occasions, mainly during the state opening of Parliament. On this day, the Queen would make a grand entrance, wearing the crown while delivering a speech to government officials. However, even though it sat on her head, she didn't actually own it. The Imperial State Crown is part of the crown jewels, which means it belongs to the nation and is passed down from one monarch to the next. Still, it remains one of the most breathtaking and expensive items in the world. 19. The Diamond Diadem. The diamond diadem is one of the most iconic pieces of jewelry associated with Queen Elizabeth II. Unlike the heavy Imperial State Crown, this headpiece is elegant and almost entirely made of diamonds. Originally created in 1820 for King George IV, it later became a symbol of the Queen's reign. The diadem features 1,333 diamonds, including a rare 4-carat yellow diamond at its center. Its design incorporates roses, shamrocks, and thistles, representing England, Ireland, and Scotland. Unlike the Imperial State Crown, which was reserved for formal events, the diamond diadem appeared frequently in portraits, on British currency, and during state ceremonies. It was worn at the Queen's coronation in 1953 and became a significant symbol of her rule. Although lighter than other crowns, the diadem is worth millions and remains a masterpiece of royal jewelry. It will continue to be worn by future monarchs. 18. Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace is one of the most valuable buildings in the world, worth an estimated $5 billion. More than a residence, it serves as a key symbol of British monarchy and history. The palace has 775 rooms, including 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 78 bathrooms, and 92 offices. It features a grand ballroom for banquets and a private 40-acre garden with a lake and beehives. The famous balcony is where the royal family waves to the public during major events. Though Queen Elizabeth II lived there for most of her reign, she did not personally own it. The palace is part of the Crown Estate, meaning it belongs to the nation rather than the royal family. Despite this, Buckingham Palace remains an enduring icon of the British monarchy. 17. Windsor Castle. Worth $236 million, Windsor Castle is the oldest and biggest occupied castle in the world. For more than 900 years, it has been a royal dwelling serving both as a personal haven and a functioning palace. William the Conqueror built the castle in the 11th century. It features official halls, private quarters, and state apartments, among other spaces. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding is among the royal weddings and funerals held in St. George's Chapel, housed within the castle. Mostly on weekends and at Easter, Queen Elizabeth II spent a lot of time at Windsor Castle. She and Princess Margaret were brought to this secure refuge for protection during World War II. It still plays a vital role in the monarchy today and is a cornerstone of British royal history. 16. The Crown Estate. Comprising around $19 billion, the Crown Estate is among the biggest land and property portfolios in the United Kingdom. Though not directly owned, the reigning king controls it. Rather, it is handed on from one monarch to the next. The estate comprises high-value assets such as commercial centres, farms, woods, Regent Street in London, and even the surrounding seabed for the United Kingdom. Among its other noteworthy features are Windsor Great Park and Ascot Racecourse. Annually generating billions of pounds, the Crown Estate mostly benefits the UK government. Through the sovereign grant, some funds royal costs. Queen Elizabeth II could not claim possession of the estate or sell it despite its great worth. Rather, she oversaw it as a duty of the monarchy. Still among the most valuable property portfolios in the world is the Crown Estate. 15. The Royal Collection. Comprising thousands of artworks, antiquities, sculptures, and rare manuscripts, the Royal Collection is among the biggest and most valuable private art collections available anywhere. It is a priceless cultural resource including works by Leonardo da Vinci, Rembrandt, and Vermeer. Royal homes, including Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace, contain the collection. It comprises about 500,000 prints, 30,000 watercolors and sketches, and more than 7,000 paintings. Among the famous works are Fabergé eggs, Rembrandt's self-portraits, and anatomical studies by da Vinci. Held in trust for the country, the royal collection cannot be sold personally, but the king can utilize it. Maintaining it guarantees public exhibition in palaces and museums as well as preservation. The Royal Collection Trust does this. It is still among the most important cultural legacy of Britain. 14. Balmoral Castle. Queen Elizabeth II used Balmoral Castle as her secret haven from royal responsibilities. Worth $140 million and covering 50,000 acres, it has belonged to the royal family since 1852, when Queen Victoria and Prince Albert bought it. Balmoral was a haven where Queen Elizabeth II spent summers riding horses, walking great distances, and having family barbecues. It let her lead a quieter, more easygoing life than Buckingham Palace. Reflecting her love of the environment, the estate also had working land with gardens, farms, and woodlands. She personally watched over the land while driving herself about in her Land Rover. The castle had private chambers, vast halls, and libraries loaded with antiques, among other spaces. Balmoral became even more important in September 2022 when the Queen passed away there, therefore confirming its status as her most beloved residence. 13. Sandringham House. The Queen's Christmas holiday was on the 20,000-acre Sandringham House estate, valued at $65 million. Since 1862, owned by the royal family, it was crucial to their holiday customs. Every year, the Queen brought family members to Sandringham for Christmas. From Prince Albert's German background, she attended church at St. Mary Magdalene, hosted private dinners, and exchanged gifts on Christmas Eve. Reflecting her environmental dedication, the estate also included organic farms, conserved woodlands, and initiatives for wildlife protection. Sandringham was quite important personally since King George VI died there in 1952. The Queen honored her father's legacy and kept royal customs by spending every Christmas there despite the grief. While Sandringham was the Queen's place of comfort and tradition, she also needed a way to travel safely and in style. For that, she had one of the most exclusive cars in the world. 12. The Bentley State Limousine. Queen Elizabeth II's Bentley State Limousine was a custom-built $15 million vehicle designed for security, comfort, and visibility. Gifted by Bentley Motors in 2002 for her Golden Jubilee, it featured bulletproof armor, blast-resistant panels, and an advanced air filtration system for protection. Inside, the car was fitted with handcrafted leather seats, polished wood, and extra-wide doors for easy access. The raised roof ensured she could be seen clearly during public appearances. The limousine's deep royal burgundy color and the Queen's coat of arms made it instantly recognizable. Used for major royal events, state visits, and ceremonies, Only 2 of these exclusive limousines exist. Though the Queen used it throughout her reign, it remains part of the royal fleet and is expected to serve King Charles III. 11. The Royal Philatelic Collection. Queen Elizabeth II inherited the Royal Philatelic Collection, one of the most valuable stamp collections in history, worth over $100 million. Originally started by her grandfather, King George V, it contains rare Commonwealth and UK postage stamps, historical prints, and unique designs. Many stamps in the collection are among the rarest in the world. Kept in carefully preserved albums, select pieces were occasionally displayed in exhibitions. While the Queen was known for her jewels and estates, her stamp collection was a hidden treasure, reflecting a deep royal legacy. While the Queen's stamp collection was worth millions, her jewelry collection was even more breathtaking. One of her most spectacular pieces was a necklace that came from one of the richest men in the world. 10. The Nizam of Hyderabad Necklace. The Nizam of Hyderabad necklace was one of the most valuable and extravagant pieces of jewelry in Queen Elizabeth II's collection. This stunning necklace was a wedding gift from the Nizam of Hyderabad, who was once one of the wealthiest rulers in the world. He told Cartier, one of the most famous jewelers, to let Princess Elizabeth choose anything she wanted from their collection, and she picked this breathtaking necklace. This one-of-a-kind necklace featured over 300 dazzling diamonds, all carefully arranged in an elegant floral pattern. The diamonds were perfectly cut and set in platinum, making the entire piece shine with unmatched brilliance. The necklace also had detachable pendant drops, allowing the Queen to wear it in different styles. Throughout her reign, Queen Elizabeth II wore this necklace on many formal occasions, and it became one of her signature pieces. The value of the necklace is estimated to be around $80 million, making it one of the most expensive gifts ever received by a royal family member. While this necklace was one of her most dazzling diamond pieces, she also had a brooch that was crafted from some of the largest diamonds ever found. 9. The Cullinan III and Ivory Brooch. One of the most extraordinary brooches in the world belonged to Queen Elizabeth II. The Cullinan III and Ivory brooch was made from 2 massive diamonds that were cut from the largest rough diamond ever found, the Cullinan diamond. These 2 stunning diamonds together weigh 158 carats, making this brooch one of the most valuable royal accessories ever created. The original Cullinan diamond was found in South Africa in 1905 and weighed an astonishing 3,106 carats. It was later cut into multiple pieces, some of which became part of the crown jewels, while others were set into personal royal jewelry. The Cullinan III and Cullinan IV diamonds were shaped into pear and cushion cuts, and Queen Mary had them crafted into a brooch in 1911. Queen Elizabeth II often wore this brooch at formal events, pairing it with elegant gowns and other diamond jewelry. The diamonds were so large and rare that this brooch was valued at $60 million. It was one of the most stunning pieces in her collection, showing off the power and luxury of the British monarchy. While this brooch was a masterpiece of diamonds, one of her most unique tiaras featured a dazzling collection of emeralds. 8. The Greville Emerald Kokoshnik Tiara. Tiaras were an important part of royal fashion, and Queen Elizabeth II had some of the most spectacular ones ever created. Among them, the Greville Emerald Kokoshnik Tiara stood out for its incredible design and rare emeralds. This tiara was originally owned by Dame Margaret Greville, a wealthy British socialite who was close to the royal family. She left this tiara to the royal family in 1942, and it eventually became one of the most famous pieces in the royal collection. What made this tiara so special was its 6 massive emeralds, carefully placed among rows of dazzling diamonds. The deep green color of the emeralds made this tiara look extraordinary and regal. The tiara was designed in the Kokoshnik style, which was inspired by traditional Russian royal headpieces. Although this tiara was in Queen Elizabeth II's collection, it became famous when it was worn by Princess Eugenie at her wedding in 2018. The tiara's bold and elegant design made it one of the most memorable royal wedding accessories. It is estimated to be worth $15 million, making it one of the most expensive tiaras in the world. 7. The royal studs and racehorses. Queen Elizabeth II had a lifelong passion for horse racing and was one of the most successful racehorse owners in history. She personally oversaw the breeding and training of hundreds of thoroughbred racehorses, many of which went on to win some of the most prestigious races in the world. Her royal studs, where her horses were bred and trained, became one of the most well-known racing stables, making her racing empire worth over $100 million. One of her most famous horses was Estimate, who made history in 2013 by winning the Gold Cup at Royal Ascot. This victory was groundbreaking, as she became the first reigning monarch to win that race. Other successful horses, such as Oriole and Carlton House, also brought in millions in prize money, proving her deep knowledge of bloodlines and breeding. Unlike other royal traditions, horse racing was something the Queen was truly passionate about. She didn't just attend races, she personally studied pedigrees, bloodlines, and training techniques. Her involvement in the sport gained her tremendous respect within the horse racing community. She could often be seen at Royal Ascot, enthusiastically cheering for her horses, proving that this was not just a hobby, it was something she truly loved. While her racehorses were fast and powerful, another one of her most valuable collections was all about delicate beauty and fine craftsmanship. 6. The Fabergé Collection. The Queen's Fabergé collection was one of the most breathtaking and valuable collections of Russian imperial artifacts. This collection included over 200 rare Fabergé pieces, such as imperial eggs, intricate jewelry, and beautifully crafted objets d'art. These weren't just fancy decorations. They were handmade masterpieces by the famous Russian jeweler Peter Karl Fabergé, who created some of the world's most valuable treasures for the Russian royal family. One of the most famous items in her collection was a gold and enamel Fabergé egg, decorated with precious gemstones and delicate details. These eggs were originally made as gifts for the Russian czars, but after the Russian Revolution, many of them were scattered across the world. Over time, the British royal family collected several of these masterpieces, making their collection one of the rarest and most valuable in existence. The Queen loved her Fabergé pieces and took great care of them, ensuring that they would be preserved for future generations. Some of these items were displayed in Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle, allowing visitors to admire their incredible craftsmanship and historical significance. With an estimated value of over $50 million, this collection was one of the rarest and most prized in the world. While Fabergé's pieces were delicate works of art, one of her most eye-catching possessions was a massive gold-covered royal coach. 5. The Gold State Coach. The Gold State Coach is one of the most famous royal carriages in history. Commissioned in 1762 for King George III, it has been used in every British coronation since 1821. Covered in real gold leaf and adorned with intricate carvings, sculptures, and paintings, it is valued at $40 million. This massive and heavy coach requires 8 horses to pull it. Inside, the seats are lined with silk and velvet, creating an elegant royal setting. Despite its grandeur, Queen Elizabeth II found it uncomfortable, once describing the ride as horrible because of how much it swayed. However, it remained a key part of royal traditions, used in her 1953 coronation and various Jubilee celebrations. It continues to be an important symbol of monarchy and will likely be used in future ceremonial events. 4. The Royal Yacht Britannia. For over 44 years, the Royal Yacht Britannia was Queen Elizabeth II's home on the water. Commissioned in 1954, this magnificent yacht was used for royal tours, official state visits, and personal vacations. Unlike any other royal vessel, Britannia was designed as a floating palace, allowing the Queen to travel the world in comfort and luxury. The yacht had 5 decks, lavishly decorated royal apartments, a grand dining room, and a sun lounge where the Queen often relaxed. It played a key role in her reign, taking her on over 1,000 official visits to more than 135 countries. The Queen had a deep sentimental attachment to Britannia, calling it the one place I can truly relax. Despite its historical significance, Britannia was decommissioned in 1997 due to rising maintenance costs. At the time, it was valued at $125 million. Today, the yacht is a museum in Edinburgh, allowing visitors to step inside and experience the grandeur of a vessel that once carried world leaders, royalty, and even newlyweds on their honeymoon. 3. Westminster Abbey burial rites. Few places in Britain are as historic and sacred as Westminster Abbey. For centuries, this grand church has been the final resting place of kings, queens, and legendary figures. Queen Elizabeth II had exclusive rights to be buried in Westminster Abbey, a privilege reserved only for monarchs and select members of the royal family. Westminster Abbey is not just a church, it is a national monument. It has hosted every British coronation since 1066, royal weddings and state funerals. Beneath its grand halls lie the tombs of King Henry V, Queen Elizabeth I, Charles Darwin, and Sir Isaac Newton. These burial rites are not measured in money. They are priceless in historical and religious significance. Although Queen Elizabeth II ultimately chose to be buried at Windsor Castle, her exclusive right to Westminster Abbey remains one of the most sacred privileges of the British monarchy. This ensures that the legacy of the royal family remains forever tied to one of the most historic sites in the world. While burial rites at Westminster Abbey were a symbol of history, another of the Queen's prized possessions was a reflection of elegance, craftsmanship, and timeless luxury. 2. The Queen's rare watches. Queen Elizabeth II's personal collection of rare watches was one of the most impressive among world leaders. Unlike her grand crowns and dazzling tiaras, her watches were subtle but deeply valuable. Her collection included legendary brands like Patek Philippe, Jaeger-LeCoultre, and Audemars Piguet. One of her most treasured pieces was the Patek Philippe Golden Ellipse, known for its elegant design and precision craftsmanship. She was also known to wear a Jaeger-LeCoultre caliber 101, one of the smallest mechanical watches ever made, which she famously wore during her coronation in 1953. These watches were not just accessories, they were symbols of the Queen's refined taste and appreciation for fine craftsmanship. Some of these pieces are now considered collector's items, with values reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars per watch. 1. The Queen's personal jewelry collection. Queen Elizabeth II's personal jewelry collection was one of the largest and most valuable private collections in the world. Unlike the crown jewels, which belonged to the British monarchy, this collection was personally owned by the Queen and could be passed down to her family. Her collection featured priceless diamonds, rare pearls, sapphires, emeralds, rubies, and tiaras. Some of her most iconic pieces included the Williamson pink diamond brooch, featuring one of the finest pink diamonds ever discovered, and the Vladimir tiara, which could be worn with either emeralds or pearls. Another standout piece was the Brazilian aquamarine parure, a breathtaking set of aquamarine jewelry gifted by the people of Brazil. Many of these jewels were gifts from world leaders, inherited from royal ancestors, or collected over her 70-year reign. Estimated at over $500 million, this collection remains one of the most valuable private jewelry collections ever owned by a monarch. And that's just a glimpse into the lavish world of Queen Elizabeth II. Which of these surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing content.